Morning, folks. It's April 3rd, 2022. This is video 179, and the title is My Friend and His Art, Part 2. As I've done in all the videos, and especially Part 1 of my friend's art, I'm going to do my best to give a verbal description of each picture so that our vision impaired friends can formulate a picture in their mind's eye as to what our buddy Bob has been up to. Bob is now in his 84th year. I didn't realize he was such an old fart. Yeah, we worked together since 1972. Long time. Okay, so let's take a look at some of Bob's treasures. Some of Bob's projects he sent to me in steps. Maybe 2 steps, maybe 3. And some just one-timers. This first one comes in 3 steps. This is, the background is a mottled blue, and about a third of the way up from the bottom, it kind of blends into a red burgundy across the entire picture. On top of the burgundy, there's a silhouetted lighted city on the shore at a distance, looking at it from out on the water. And being that the city's lighted, it's reflecting out on the water. Looks pretty nice. Now, the main topic of this picture's start here is a sailboat. There's an old cabin cruiser. Has five or six windows on it in the cabin, and extended out the back is a nice casting deck. And it also has 2 triangle sails on a single point mast coming up out of the center of the cabin. Nice little boat. It's reflected very well on the water as well. This is step 2 of the sailboat project. And why did he make a big difference on this one? There's fireworks in the sky. White, orange, pink, red, yellow. Exploding all over the top of the city, above this city. And they're reflected quite well on the water as well. Really nice. On the third step of this picture, Bob did a little highlighting of the exploding fireworks and the reflections on the water. Really brought it to life. Kind of reminiscent to me of being in Cincinnati on the 4th of July, being down by the Ohio River and watching them shoot fireworks off down there. That's quite a show, too. This next picture, again, is in 2 steps. The lower quarter is the ocean with the slightly choppy waves. The background is a really nice sky. It starts out at a lighter blue and then goes up into some purple and a blend of purple and blue. And then just slightly off center is the moon. In front of the moon is illuminating purple skies, a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow. And it goes all the way across the center of the picture with the reflections on the clouds. And then slightly above the moon, it goes back to some broken purple clouds and a motley blue background. In the center of the picture, the main topic appears to be a ship. Right now there's just a gray section, looks like the hull, and then a couple of black sticks for masts. The ship is finished in this picture. It's an old wooden frigate with furled sails. For those of you not familiar, you have furled and unfurled. Unfurled is when they're catching the wind. When they're furled, they're all rolled up against the yard arms, all nestled in for the night. There may be moored, I don't know. But Bobby's also added in all the rope rigging that goes along with the old wooden boats. He's highlighted the chop on the water, and also the impacts of the chop against the hull of the boat as it meets the water. Nice picture. Now we get into the realm of flowers and insects. The background on this picture, the lower third, is a mottled medium green, and it kind of blends up into a yellow in the center and a light pink on the left, and kind of like an light olive drab color on the right. And that continues on up in a multitude of blending right on up to the top of the page. The forefront of the picture, there are 10 various stems of a thistle plant in full bloom with the red blooms on the tops. And there are a couple of kind of nondescript butterflies feeding on that thistle, on those flowers. The butterflies in this step they're orange and a little bit of red. In the finished picture, the circulatory veins have been added to the wings of the butterflies. You can see the legs and their antenna as they're feeding on the thistle plant. The edges of the wings are outlined in a heavy black, and that outline also has white dots on it. These two butterflies are actually monarchs feeding on thistle blossoms. And as a point of interest, the primary preferred food for monarchs is milkweed, but that stuff is pretty few and far between these days. This one is a winter scene. It has a locomotive as the topic. It's coming over a rise towards us, and of course the snow is white. There's a little blue and gray involved with it to give it a little texture. And to the left side of the railroad tracks coming from the center right at an arc down to the lower left. To the left of the tracks are 5 different hardwood trees that are somewhat snow-laden. The locomotive itself is in rough outline, and the cars behind it are just kind of like penciled in right now. And this one, Bob has it pretty well done. And I neglected in the first part to tell you that the sky looks like a morning sky, red and blue. The red would be something like, red sky in morning, sailor take warning kind of red. Anyway, the train is defined. The engine is black. Got a center round light in the front, a little cow catcher. And the cars are orange. They're passenger cars. They have 4 or 5 windows in each car. And it's a distant shot, so the cars get smaller as you're looking back around the arc. And the smoke is just barreling out of that front chimney on that old steam locomotive. You just see it bellowing. The bellows are one right after the other, and they're trailing off right behind it, right over the train, off into the distance. And Bobby also added another hardwood tree on the right side of the picture, which kind of overlays the smoke and a little bit of the train cars. Pretty nice shot. Nice winter scene. Now this is the third picture Bobby sent me of this. Honestly, I'm not sure if it's the same picture as before, but for some reason it has more depth. I don't know if it was the lighting or after he put the sealer on it. But this picture is really nice. Came out really good. It reminds me of when we were kids, Christmas time. Currier and Ives would have their Christmas special pictures. You could get the picture itself, you could get it done on coffee mugs or on collector plates and things. Oh, when I looked at this, that was my first thought that Bobby is getting into the realm of Currier and Ives. Up next is an undersea scape. The bottom third of the picture is an abundance of coral. I believe the one type of coral is called antler coral. Looks like deer horns. And then there's an abundance of various colors of greens and yellows and browns and reds, all blended in. And he actually carried the coral bed out some up to the center of the picture, but from the bottom third up to the center, it looks off in the distance, like it's kind of fogged over in a way. The water is a couple different tones of blue, and he has it traveling up from the lower left to the upper right. Also has a bunch of fish in this picture. The fish are different shades of gray and different sizes, and it also adds to the depth, because the farther back fish gets smaller and lighter in color. And in the forefront there's a little turtle just floating above the coral. He's kind of orange and a little brown in this picture. This is the first step. And this is the finished product of his horizontal coral reef. One thing I didn't notice in the first one are the little fishes swimming amongst the antlered coral on the bottom. You go back and look at it, there are little gray fishes in it, but they didn't really stand out. But boy, they stand out now. They're kind of a reddish-orange color. Pretty bright. He's got them tucked in amongst the coral all the way across the bottom of the picture. He also defined the black stripes on a little fish up in the corner, left corner, and the segments on the turtle. A little dark brown, and the turtle shell is kind of a light orange. His head's a little more defined too. He's got an eye. Nice picture. This coral picture is the finished product. This coral runs from the bottom left to the upper right in the picture. The water runs from bottom right to upper left. Out in the water we have similar little gray fish of various shades of gray, giving the picture depth. And the coral is a blend of some really nice colors. A faded yellow, There's some greens of various shades, light, dark. There's some stick coral. There's some knobby coral. Some of them look like sponges. Orange, brown, gray, green, gray. A nice blend of colors. And the corals all have different shapes unto themselves, but they're all butted right into each other to make a bit of a mound going up at a 45-degree angle. And there are about 20-25 little pink fish swimming, hovering around the mound of coral. Pretty nice. This next picture is a two-parter. This is Bob's rendition of his grandson doing a little surf fishing. The water's washing ashore at a 45-degree angle. The horizon is a deep blue, coming down to a lighter blue as it comes up on the sand. And there's a little bit of chop to the water. From the horizon up, it's got a little bit of purple sky going on up into blended up into a blue. And this young man has a white t-shirt on. He's standing in water a little over ankle deep. Got black shorts. He's got the pole in two hands, got it leaning back with the lure on it, getting ready to whip it out into the surf. And this is the finished product of Bob's grandson's surf fishing. Up in the sky, Bob has added various size seagulls or terns, different sizes, gives the effect of distance. The chop in the water is a little more defined, and it's smoothed out a little bit as it's washing ashore. And his grandson now has an orange shirt on, and the reflection is pretty well done in the water. This picture is a one-off. The picture depicts Bobby's little granddaughter. I'm not sure how old she was. I think he said she was like 3 or 4. Give you an idea. Well, the bottom 2/3 of the picture is sandy beach. And you can see the little footprints trotting out there. His little granddaughter's running straight at the water. Her feet are like at the bottom. Yeah, at the bottom. Or at the center of the picture. And, and you just kind of visualize a little 3-year-old standing there. She's wearing a little white undergarment. Then she has on a nice pink sundress with a shoulder cape design with the white trim. And on her head, she's got a little powder blue sunbonnet with a dark blue ribbon on it. And of course, she's facing the water, so you're just looking at her back. Waves are breaking into the shore about maybe a foot and a half high. And beyond the break, the ocean is a deep blue. And on the horizon, you hit the sky, and the sky is a much lighter blue. This is a picture of a partially ivy-colored building. Now, Bobby told me he didn't like this one. So the next one you see will be the changes he made. But this one has a red door in the center, and the door has 2 9 panel windows in the upper part and 2 solid wood panels in the lower part. And there's a window on each side of the door, 2 double hungs together, and they're blue framed. The building itself is a light orange. It's got a walk coming forward from the door with the square pads out to the road. And there's a lot of bushes and ivy, different colors, green, dark greens, light greens, medium greens, covering the wall, and a bush going around from the road into the door on both sides. This is a second attempt to do this vine-covered cottage. This time, this is a thatched roof building, 2-story. There are 4 dual double hung windows, one set on each side of the door, and one set on each side directly above it. This is a thatched roof. It comes down to the top of the windows, and between the windows actually drops down a little farther. The wall itself is white, and it has a 1x4 pattern on it, European design. A lot of that in Germany, and Luxembourg was quite similar on the residences. And a lot of people around here do the same thing. You have a white wall, and you take 1x4s and paint them a darker color, and put some kind of pattern on it. They go around the doors, and maybe make a W going up to the roof or something like that. It offsets it, and looks pretty nice. It's well done. There's a flower box on each window with little flowers in it, red flower boxes. And each set of windows is framed in gray, and then there's blue indicating the glass, but then there are totally different reflections depicted in each window set. An interesting concept. The step out from the door is 3 rows of stone pads out to the road. Up and over the door is a dark green ivy with light colored flowers. And going parallel with the road and making a 90-degree turn back to the door is a trimmed hedge. And it has a variety of colors of variety of greens. On the right side of the walk, there's a bush. Again, a different variety of green colors. And there's a nice rendition of a European cottage. This one is the finished product. It's an old steamship coming directly at you on the ocean. The water churning around the boat. There's a red stripe at the bottom. You can see in spots as it's visible through the splashing water. The hull is black. The decks are white. The bridge has 9 windows facing forward. And this is a steamship, so it has 2 stacks. They're mostly red, like 3/4, and a white stripe, then a blue topping, and there's smoke coming out of both stacks, drifting off to the upper left. Strong ocean, and a light to medium aqua color sky. After I published this video, Bob checked it out and sent me a note. And this is what it says in regards to this picture. One missing thing in this video. The steamship that you show isn't my work. It's actually a watercolor painting that my grandson did for a school project. He loves to paint and make projects from wood and other materials. He's been invited to participate in the Air Force Academy summer course. You can either go to the academy in Colorado or do it online. He's going to do it online. He has too many things scheduled for this summer. Guess talent runs right on down through the family. This is the last in this video. It's also different. Bob took a shot at using a black canvas. In the far distance, way up in the picture, you can see an outline of a city in lights and the reflection of the city on the water. In the mid to lower foreground, there's a stump and some rocks highlighted, like a little brown with highlights. And standing between the rocks is an egret, standing perfectly still, waiting to get something to eat. Looks pretty neat. Black canvas. Brown rocks highlighted by the moonlight. And the egret's just standing there waiting for dinner to come by. Well, Bob, you've done a pretty good job with these. On behalf of myself and our friends and the people who we don't even know will get to see this, thanks for sharing. You do nice work, buddy. So, as usual, I wish everyone all the best.